Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. My name's Connor Williams, and we're back with another one of our end of season player reviews. This time it is on Idrissa Gueye with his Everton return. A lot of these, I forget, it only joined back last summer because of the World Cup. It absolutely causes mayhem. But yeah, joined back in the 2022 window in September. So it's his first season back at Everton. And straight from the off, like always, we'll do the stats and all that good stuff in a little bit. That will definitely do. But just straight from the off, my thoughts on him. I think I said when we signed him, and I still agree to this. I think it's really sad and it's a worrying state of affairs when the player we signed to replace Idrissa Gueye is Idrissa Gueye 3 years older. That's not a great outlook and a great view of how the club's being run. It's actually quite bad. Obviously, you could argue maybe Onana could potentially move into there or James Gana, but they were only signed this season, and that's still not good enough. 3 years on from Idrissa. That being said, as well, when we had him the first time, I absolutely loved him. I thought he was a fantastic player. One of my favourite players, underrated, I thought, at times, and unfairly judged at times. Alas, I think, unfortunately, age gets to everybody in the end, and that's happened to him. He's had a bit of a rocky season. He started it roughly under Lampard. There's that atrocious back pass that he did. He got caught a couple of times in possession that's led to goals, and there's that awful back pass he did. But to his credit, the end of the season, I've either not noticed him or I have noticed him for good reasons, or more than likely I've not noticed him, which is good because he does the thankless job. I shouldn't be noticing him as much as the other players. I think he took a free kick, didn't he, against Bournemouth as well, which was an interesting one. I know he takes Senegal's set pieces because I remember watching him in the World Cup, hoping if he could swing in a good corner, we'd be in a bit of luck. As set piece takers were something we were missing. But anyway, so he's played 32 games this season, started 32, was subbed on for one. 2,492 minutes, so a lot of game time for Idrissa Gueye, which is great. Like I said, he's getting on a bit. I think he's like, 33 now. So, 2,592 minutes is very good going. 7 yellow cards, an XG of 0.8, no goals. 6 shots on target, 7 off target, 1 assist, 12 chances created, 1,209 passes, 28 dribbles attempted, 19 of them successful, 97 tackles attempted, 57 of them successful, 31 clearances and 56 interceptions. Now those last 4, I'm not going to say as a definite because I can't remember all the players I've done so far, but I believe he might be the best. Maybe Tarkowski slightly beats him, but I'm not too sure. He might be the best defensive one in those 4 stats. He might have the highest numbers there, so it's well worth darting that. Fantastic player. Obviously, we use he just covers so much ground. Looking at his heat map now, he covers every blade of grass, not just the middle. He's out on the sides, he's out on the wings, he's up and there. The only bit that's a bit lacking is the opposition's penalty area, and you don't want your ball-winning midfielder to be up there, really. So it's probably for the best that he's not up there. So he plays about 79 minutes per game as well, which is good to see. Like I said, gets a lot of game time in Idrissa Gueye. He's got 1 big chance created, 0.4 key passes a game, 31 accurate passes per game, which is about 85% pass accuracy, which is decent, very, very good. He makes 1.7 interceptions per game, which is fantastic. 2.9 tackles per game, again, fantastic. Possession won 0.6 times a game. Dribble pass 0.9 times again game. Clearances per game 0.9. Errors that led to a shot 0. This is the big one for me. Errors that led to goal 3 and a penalty committed. We know, as good as he is defensively, he has had some really, really bad decision making this year. He's cost us a couple of games, which is a shame. Other than that, successful dribbles, he's got 68% successful dribbles. Lost possessions 7.9 times, fouls 1.3 times, and was fouled 1.5 times. Putting him in with the rest of the Premier League, comparing him to the rest of the midfielders in the Premier League, including similar players, according to FBref, which might be worth Everton looking at if they want to replace him, as he's 33. You've got Boubacar Kamara, Tyler Adams from Leeds, who's a very decent player, but unfortunately struggles with injuries. Wilfred Ndidi, which is a fantastic player. Boubacar Samor for Leicester. Chick Decore, who I know Crystal Palace fans love. Mario Lemina from Wolverhampton. Romeo Lavia from Southampton, who everybody's raving about. Ibrahim Diallo, Oliver Skip from Tottenham, who people are raving about. And Leander Dodonka from Wolverhampton. And some might be Villa. Is he still at Wolves? Not too sure on who he plays for anymore. But yeah, comparing it to the rest, his passing is not brilliant compared to the rest of the Premier League midfielders. That is said, it's very in the percentile wise. He's got 83.6%, which puts him in the 70 percentile, which is decent. A lot of them are short though. A lot of short passes completed. A couple of medium. Pass completion for medium passes is 88%, which is in the top 72 percentile of the Premier League midfielders. But it's when you get down to his defensive side. Tackles, he's in the top 96 percentile. Tackles won, he's in the 94 percentile. Tackles in the defensive third, which is 1.71 per 90, he's in the 93 percentile. Tackles in the mid third, he's in the 80th percentile. Tackles in the attacking third, he's in the 84 percentile. Dribblers tackled, 78 percentile. Interceptions and tackles and interceptions. Tackles and interceptions, he's at 5.34 per 90, and that puts him in the top 99. Fantastic stats there, which is what I was saying towards the end. I think he's improved because I'm not noticing him as much, and that's because he's doing that type of work that you don't notice as much as take-ons or shots, or goals or blunders. You remember blunders as well. But he's had a fantastic end of the season. I'd say, thing is with Idrissa Gueye, we knew his strengths coming into signing. He's a good tackler, very good ball interceptor. He hasn't lost them since he's been away. He's an okay passer of the ball as well. I used to think he got stick for his passing. His passing's not awful. It's not fantastic, but it's not awful. I think the weakness now is concentration. I don't know if that's come with his age or if he's always been a bit like this, but those mistakes he's made, they weren't because he's not good enough. They were just severe lack of concentration, especially that back pass. He just didn't look over his shoulder. A real half-efforted pass. There was hardly any weight behind it. It was always going to get ran onto. So yeah, concentration's one that he needs to improve on. He does like to play his short passes. He does like to shoot from distance, likes to tackle, and he does commit fouls often. But overall, he's a fantastic player. That concentration's a little bit of a worry. Being 33 is a little bit of a worry. Maybe the club needs to look at it either this season or next season. Although saying that, we have James Gana, who we might get more game time out of next year. He's had an okay season. I'd like to see more of Gana. But yeah, overall, Idrissa Gueye, start the season up until February, woof. Up from February to the end, very good. Très bien, as he's probably used to hearing back in France. Fantastic midfielder who's done a job towards the end of the season, keeping us up. And it'll be interesting to see how he moves next season. For the whole season, I'm going to give him a 6.5 because it started, like I said, woof, really badly. It got better at the end. I think that balances it out to a 6.5. You guys might agree, might disagree. Let me know down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And I'll see you guys soon.